Welcome to Auto Driven, and today we'll be discussing about the different types of license plate numbers in Singapore. But before we begin, do remember to subscribe if you haven't already and click on the bell icon. Aside from their colour schemes, different license plates in Singapore can be differentiated by their letters and numbers. So in a typical license plate, you will have your prefix, suffix, numbers, and checksum letter. In the very beginning, license plates in Singapore only had a single prefix S, but it wasn't long before an additional suffix is needed, like SA, to fit the growing car population. The only variation not used is SH, which is reserved for taxis. After this was exhausted, private license plates then moved on to the E prefix, running all the way up to EZ, before the S series took over again, this time round with two suffix letters, beginning with SBA. Let's take this sample license plate as an example. The BA suffix shown here runs in alphabetical order, and you can tell roughly how old a car plate is just by looking at these letters. To avoid confusion between the letters and numbers, LTA has omitted the use of the letters I and O, which resemble 1 and 0. Next, we have the numbers behind the letters. These are in running order, and you can find any number between 1 to 9999. Lastly, we have the very confusing but very useful last letter, in this case, A. It may seem randomly assigned, but this is actually a checksum letter, and it can help to verify whether a license plate is genuine using a complex algorithm. Don't worry if you don't understand the algorithm, as LTA has a very handy chart to show you which letters correspond to which number. To avoid forming words with objectionable opinions, LTA has decided to remove the use of vowels in our license plates. For example, in 2003, when the SDZ plate was exhausted, SE was skipped in favour of SFA. It doesn't take a genius to see why SE was skipped, right? Likewise, SI was also skipped a few years later, and eventually SO and SU will not be implemented in the future. Moving on to more unique plates, vehicles from the government will have specific letters on them. For example, LTA enforcement vehicles will have, well, LTA written on them. Next, these QX plates may strike fear in the hearts of some motorists. These are actually used by our emergency and law enforcement agencies such as the police, SCDF and ICA. So next time you chance upon a QX plate, better slow down. Most of you who serve in national service will be familiar with these plates, labelled MID. These are actually used to represent our SAF vehicles. And fun fact, generals in the army will receive staff cars that have 2-digit MID plates on them. Likewise, military police vehicles will have the label MP written on them. Other official government vehicles include S1 to S10 and are used to transport foreign dignitaries and official government guests. During National Day Parade, you will see this very nice S-Class with the label SEP1. This actually stands for Singapore Elected President 1, and as the name suggests, it is the vehicle used to transport the President of Singapore. Other notable mentions include SJ, which is for Supreme Court judges, SP1, which is for the Speaker of Parliament, and SPF1 for the Big Boss of Police, the Commissioner. There are also temporary plates issued for special events. For example, Airshow is used for the Singapore Airshow, and YOG is used for the Youth Olympic Games. If you're lucky enough, you may come across some interesting combinations like EV1L, EA5Y, or SMA1180Y, which can creatively spell out words. So even if Singapore you cannot have customizable license plates, it is nice to see some fun combinations instead of our usual plates in our creatively stifled country. Personally, while I do like the idea of customizable license plates, I feel that having a standardized system is overall better. For example, if you get into an accident, it's easier to identify each vehicle instead of racking your brains trying to think, the other guy's car plate was I love Yishun? You see what I mean? Personalized plates might be confusing to everybody. Hope you learned something new today. Do remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you again on Auto Driven.
Motorist.